theme of the topic, of the course. The reason why we thought that we would actually present an overview is because we need to have a bird's eye sort of a view as to what is the status of maternal mortality internationally as well as locally, right? So first and foremost, I'd like to welcome all of you to the state of Kedah. We still maintain the greenery, as you can see. Please enjoy the tranquility, and also as you're passing along Plus Highway, I'm sure that you will appreciate the greenery. And with that, let me just take you through about the state of maternal mortality. Let us look at the worldwide scenario. As you are sitting now and talking, as I'm standing here and talking to you now, perhaps one mother is actually in the state of going into a collapse state, and perhaps she will be dying. In every 2 minutes in this world, one mother is dying. So approximately 830 women die from pregnancy and childbirth-related complications around the world every day. This is a very high number. So the high number in some areas would reflect the inequality of access to health services, because the reason being there's a significant gap between the rich and the poor. So the economic boundaries are very significant. So if you look at sub-Saharan areas in Africa, the mothers die. I mean, one mother can die, and there is one in 40 out of 100 mothers will die, okay, in any given time, compared to a developed country. So you will realize that almost about 99% occurs in developing countries, also called the third world countries. So why do women die? Most of the complications develop during pregnancy, and most of them are preventable and treatable. This is a sad part of the maternal mortality worldwide, because most of the conditions are preventable. So what are the causes which you can identify? And this is actually the causes which has been reviewed regularly by the World Health Organization. And as you can see, this is actually the latest sort of rundown given by World Health Organization, and you can see that women die because of severe bleeding, mostly after childbirth, infection usually after childbirth as well. And Dr. Asma is going to talk to us about sepsis in pregnancy. After this, high blood pressure during pregnancy, namely preeclampsia and eclampsia, complications from delivery, such as obstetric embolism and so on, and unsafe abortion. So these are the most common causes of maternal mortality worldwide. Other complications that exist because before pregnancy that worsen during pregnancy, especially if not managed as part of the women's care. So let us look at the definition of maternal mortality. The death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy from any cause related to or aggravated by pregnancy or its management, but not from accidental or incidental cause. Okay? So this is the definition of maternal mortality. Okay. Again, there's another definition for pregnancy death, pregnancy mortality. That is a death of women from any cause within 42 days. But we are sticking to this definition as maternal mortality. So if you further dissect, look at the sub-causes. You can categorize it into direct maternal death, indirect maternal death, and fortuitous maternal death. Direct maternal death basically means that the death results from obstetric complications of the pregnancy state, be it pregnancy, labor, and delirium, right? And whatever chain of event which results from complications, that is direct death. Indirect meaning that the death occurs from previously existing disease or disease that developed during pregnancy, which is not due to direct obstetric cause, but which will be aggravated, and the physiological effect of pregnancy as well. So these are an exacerbation of conditions. Perhaps, for instance, let's say she's got an SLE or connective tissue disease, and it has been made worse during pregnancy, and mother dies eventually. So we attribute that to an indirect maternal death. Fortuitous death is a death which results from causes which is not related to pregnancy. They are not included the pregnancy, for example, drowning, road accident, and so on. So usually we wouldn't take this into account during the true statistics of maternal mortality. But for statistical reporting in Malaysia, what we do is we take all the direct and indirect death among Malaysian citizens and non-Malaysian citizens with legal document. So now the rates are actually catching up because we do have quite a number of them non-Malaysian citizen actually dying. So let us look at the WHO initiative. What has been done to actually bring down maternal mortality? It all started, in fact, a long time ago, but in 2000 what happened was they came up with such thing known as Millennium Development Goal set by 189 United Nations member states in September 2000 and agreed to achieve the target by the year 2015. The target would be to reduce maternal mortality by the ratio of 75% and also to achieve universal access to reproductive health. So once we have reached 2015, do you think that we would have achieved the target? Definitely no, because this is actually a very, what shall I say, a very significant figure, and it's not easy. There are a lot of initiatives that we have to put in. So, according to what the studies or the analysis which have done, only 8 countries managed to achieve the 75% decrease. Right? Further, what happened in 2015 after reviewing in 2016? They came up with another concept known as Sustainable Development Goal, SDG. The target is to reduce the global maternal mortality to less than 70 per 100,000. Okay? At this point in time, we are standing at 44 per 100,000. Sorry. At this point in time, the rates are much higher. It's not 44. It's much higher than that. And the target is to actually reach 70 per 100,000 between 2016 and 2030. So by 2030, you should be actually standing at about 70 per 100,000. Do you think it's achievable? Well, it's yet to be seen. So what is the achievement from MDG 5? So in MDG 5, what happened was there was a 45% reduction in maternal mortality. But again, the MDG 5 started in 2000, but they feel that there was a significant reduction from 2000, year 2000. So we managed to reduce 45%. So we couldn't reach a target of 75%. And there was actually a reduction in significant areas like Southern Asia as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And there's also an increased number of birth assisted by skilled health personnel globally, right? To about 71%, which is actually a good achievement. And there's also an increase in proportion of pregnant women receiving 4 or more antenatal visits, especially in the Northern African region. And there's also an increase in contraceptive prevalence with women from 15 to 49 years of age, whether married or in some other union, to about 64%. Okay? These are some of the significant achievements which was achieved in MDG 5. When you look at the trending of MDG 5, you will realize that the maternal mortality fell almost half between 1990 and 2015. If you look at the figures here, you realize that the maternal mortality in 1990 was 385 per 100,000 birth. And in 2015, we managed to bring it down to 216 per 100,000 birth. So meaning that there's a 44% reduction. And the average annual reduction is about 2.3%, and there's disparity between the rich and the poor country. So if you look at the figures, the lifetime maternal death in a high-income country is 1 in about 3,300, whereas in the poor country, the third world country, is about 1 in 41, the low-income country. So meaning that in every 41 women who delivers, 1 woman will die. So you can imagine the impact and the long-term significant impact in the population, economy, and so on. So these are the figures which you can see, the worldwide maternal mortality ratio in 2015. We can see the dark spots are concentrated mainly in the sub-Saharan area, the central part of Africa. You can also see some around the in Asian countries, but of course Malaysia is doing pretty well actually compared to other regions. Okay, now that we have moved on to this concept known as Sustainable Development Goal, which was actually started off in 2016, 15 onwards, and they're supposed to target and reach in 2030. Okay, so what are the main objective is to reduce global maternal mortality to less than 70 per 100,000. And the concept actually, if you look at it, it is going by survive and preventable deaths, right? Thrive, ensure health and well-being, and transform, expand enabling environments. So these are the main objectives and targets, which actually they are looking at this quite seriously. So what are the action areas? You can see that there are several action areas. This doesn't only involve community, it also involves individual, involves the government organization, involves the NGOs and various partners. So it has to be a teamwork for us to achieve this target of 70 per 100,000. Now let us look at maternal mortality in Malaysia. So this is our latest figure, 2016. If you see that from the beginning, we have got validated data from 1933. If you look at this figure, there has been a significant drop in the 80s. Okay, now we are sustaining somewhere around in the range of about 25 to 30, and it has been quite constant every year, right? Year in, year out. So what happened in the beginning was when Malaysia was under the British rule, maternal mortality was not a priority. It was very high. Okay, it was identified as a major problem, but there are certain individuals who worked very strongly. There was some political commitment from founding fathers and the government of Malaya, but it was not serious. Correct? Until 1957, 1958, when Malaysia had Merdeka, had independence, then there was some focus, some concentration given to maternal mortality, even though it was moderately high, but it was rapidly declining. And the health system was strengthened by improving better access for all, especially the disadvantaged people. So there were initiation of midwifery training schools and so on. There are a lot of midwives coming, actually making home visits and so on. So we could see some improvement. And following that, from the 80s, we had subsequent significant decline. There was relatively low maternal mortality rate, and despite difficulty attaining yet further declines, continued effort are in place trying to achieve this. Meaning that every organization involved are trying to actually put in as much as they can. And in this phase, you can see consolidation of the past gains, the further capacity strengthening, and introducing several specific initiative to lower maternal mortality rate, such as auditing. And in fact, confidential inquiry to maternal deaths was actually introduced in 1991. This is a very significant step where they actually discuss each and every death which occurs in the country, and collectively they would want to take any action and also see what can they do about this. So when we look at the history, what happened was from the 20s, there was a lot of individuals who were having a role in caring for mothers who are pregnant. There was no consolidated effort. So there was midwives going from place to place. There was bidan kampung and so on, were delivering mothers at home and so on. Some mothers actually delivered without any assistance, so-called the husband and so on. These were perhaps maybe our grandparents. So from then onwards, the initiation of training schools in the 40s. Sorry. The initiation of training schools in the 40s and stillbirth attendance in the 50s. In the 60s, the Midwifery Act came through, and there was also introduction of family planning. But the real family planning initiative was from the 70s onwards. And we have also registration of trained birth attendants and so on. So from 70s onwards, we could see a significant drop in maternal deaths. And from 80s, and there were more initiatives taken, like home-based maternal assessment card. There was implementation of risk approach. There were strategies for perinatal risk assessment. And in the 90s, we could see the confidential inquiry to maternal deaths being introduced. And there were quality assurance program, the alternative birthing centers coming up in a few places to assist disadvantaged community. For instance, those who are staying very deep interior and so on. For instance, or Asli and so on. And there was also introduction of training program for nurses and introduction of HIV. And from 2000 onwards, we could see training made more intensive for the healthcare givers, like PPH training, hypertensive training, heart disease. For the midwives as well, magnesium sulfate for eclampsia has been introduced. So sometimes patient fits at home, they're given the loading dose and sent to the hospital. So these are all the initiatives which were taken. And revised health management and information system was introduced. So these were in the 2000. Okay, now let us look at some of the statistics or figures. So this is the latest figures. As you can see, the number of pregnancy-related deaths is somewhere, it's about the same, not much of a difference actually. It's settling around the same. In 2016 it was 302. Okay, and if you look at the citizens, now you can see that about nearly 40% are non-Malaysian citizens. 35% are non-Malaysian citizens compared to Malaysian citizens. The numbers are increasing. And the direct death attributes to nearly about 50% of the deaths. Compared to indirect, it's about 10%, roughly about 10%. Fortitious is about 42%. Okay, that's a rough estimation. So, all in all, the summary is the direct death is still the main cause of deaths for mothers. So let us look at the cause of maternal mortality in 2016. As you can see, the main cause of maternal mortality is associated medical condition. You can see it's about 26 maternal deaths. Compared to the others, the number 2 is postpartum hemorrhage, and number 3 is obstetric pulmonary embolism. So these are the 3 main causes which gives rise to maternal mortality in Malaysia. 5 years ago, the main cause was postpartum hemorrhage, but now we see more and more associated medical conditions such as sepsis in pregnancy and complicated connective tissue disease in pregnancy and so on. So I just want to talk about obstetric embolism because we are seeing more and more cases nowadays, especially in the state of Kedah. You will realize that when obstetric embolism, the numbers have been increasing. From 2014, you see the numbers actually going up. So when you break down the obstetric embolism, when you look into amniotic fluid embolism or obstetric pulmonary embolism, you will realize that as for case of amniotic fluid embolism, you are also seeing a number of increase as well compared to the pulmonary embolism. So we have to be very vigilant when addressing these problems. The mother coming in antenatally or intrapartum with signs and symptoms, we have to pick it up right from the beginning itself because we can do something about this. So when do mothers die? Which stage do the mothers die? Most of the time, problem happens during the intrapartum stage. When the mother comes in labor, then you can see that things are taking place. Mother having sudden shortness of breath, sudden collapse, she loses a lot of blood. So all this has to be picked up as early as possible. It's a very significant sort of presentation. So I'm just going to go through very briefly what we have been doing in Malaysia to actually achieve as much as we can to reduce the maternal deaths. Since most of the maternal deaths are happening in the hospital, there's been a lot of strategies in strengthening quality of obstetric care in the hospital. So they want as much as they can to have hospitals with 100% specialists. It may happen, it may not happen, because the rate of specialist resigning also quite high. By the time the specialist comes in, within 2 years after gazettement, okay, bye-bye, cabut. So they are also trying to get as many hospitals to have combined clinic, not only general medical combined clinic. They're looking into cardiology combined clinic, endocrinological combined clinic, and various sub-specialized combined clinic. This is something which can be done. In our hospital, we've got cardiology combined clinic, we've got an endocrinological combined clinic. So these are something which some areas where we can look into very specific conditions and treat them accordingly. The other thing is pre-pregnancy clinic. I think this is also a very important component of healthcare system because most of the mothers coming into pregnancy or going to embark into the pregnancy without having an optimal control of a current condition. They're having very bad control of diabetes, very what we call unstable connective tissue disease and so on. So these are the mothers whom we can actually address. We can take care. Some of the mothers are having cardiac conditions which have a very high ejection fractions and so on. So we have to look into all this, how we can overcome or get these mothers stabilized before they embark into pregnancy. It's not that they can't get pregnant at all, they can, but we have to play our part by making sure they are stabilized. But the regular emergency obstetric drills, regular systems, so these are some of the initiatives. We also have got gaps in surveillance, so now they're having this National Obstetric Registry where they actually keep what we call, they keep in the radar, they keep monitoring all these statistics. They also looking at the depth amongst higher parity, which now is still predominant. Right? So what we're doing is the expanding promotion and provision of family planning service. So there are a lot of initiatives being taken as to this. And there are also other initiatives like expanding and sorry about the slide, multi-skilling primary care personnel, meaning the spontaneous professional education for maternal child health starts, and also looking at some of the monitoring indicators. Okay, if there's lacking of monitoring indicators, they also introducing new NRA indicators. Okay, looking at PPH incident reporting, obstetric trauma, and also they're looking at performance at targeted population. Some of the population sort of, I would say, is neglected, or are asli and native interiors of Sabah and Sarawak, urban poor, single mothers, okay, single and young mothers. These are the sort of underprivileged group. Sometimes they're socially being discriminated. So also looking at deaths among high-risk mothers, medical conditioners. As I mentioned to you earlier on, we need to strengthen our pre-pregnancy initiative. Deaths among non-clinical and non-clinic case are lost to follow up to ensure there's good accessibility, continuous seamless care in pregnancy. We have mobile antenatal clinic, and we need to make sure that all AR discharges, all these discharges has to be actually followed up. Because sometimes mothers, they go back home, they're not happy with management in the hospital, they go back home, they deteriorate. So we need to actually follow up these mothers, and even we have to play a role with the private clinic, private hospitals. They need to inform us if things go wrong in the system, so that we can keep tab as to what is happening. So it's actually what we call a teamwork. And there's also that among mothers with social problems. This is a group of mothers. It's actually a very sad state of affairs, because once they have this group of mothers are sometimes been discriminated in such a way that they actually isolate themselves when problem happens. So management of mothers via personalized care, where we need to look at all other initiatives, starts to be more understanding, more sensitive. We need to collaborate with other agencies like Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat. For instance, if there's a rape victim, she gets pregnant, what do we do? Okay, there's a lot of social implication. We have to keep our secrecy as much as we can, but it's very difficult, right? But we collaborate with other organizations like JKM, and we can bring this girl or this woman to put under a care, okay, and also put them in maybe rumah perlindungan and so on. And we also looking at the strategies in those suboptimal care, where sometimes we have to ensure that supervision are done at all level, okay, and inquiries are being done, internal and external inquiries, right? Okay, the key points, look at it. There are a lot of things we can talk about, maternal mortality, but what are important is pre-pregnancy care, emphasis on pre-pregnancy care, focus collaborative efforts during antenatal visit, antenatal period, safe place of delivery. Nowadays the government is coming in very strongly with a new legislation. They're not allowing maternity homes to function in a short lot. Okay, it has to be a combined sort of hospital multidisciplinary care. So these are some of the things that is happening, ensuring reliable rapid referral system. There's no such thing as MOs calling MOs then talking to specialists calling the MOs back. We have to have a system whereby specialists communicate and refer cases, and this has to be done seamlessly, right? And availability of emergency obstetric care, it's important. Comprehensive postnatal care is also very important. It's already happening in our system, where mothers are visited regularly for at least 1 week, and easy access to contraceptive option. This is a very important point as well. The mothers don't have contraception option, they get pregnant every year. We have Gravida 11 coming to us. There's a norm nowadays coming for delivery, and you may get problems. Once you deliver, you may get problems. So we have to look into this quite seriously. Right? With that, I would like to end my lecture with this statement. This is a very profound philosophical statement, which is actually mentioned by Professor Mahmoud Fatala. He is a very famous obstetrician. He was a FIGO past president, Federation of International Gynecology and Obstetrics, and is the greatest human health right champion of the last century. He actually mentioned that the inconvenient truth, and let us face it, if the mothers are not dying because of conditions we cannot prevent or treat, to put it bluntly, they are dying because the societies have yet to make the decision that their lives are worth the cost of saving. Basically, he's saying that the government is not taking proper initiative. So, with that, I hope that we can put in more effort, and no woman should die giving a life. Thank you.